What is there on the other side? People who have died and come back describe two completely different things. Some saw light, peace, a love beyond words. Others saw darkness, fire, and something worse. Tonight, 11 stories, 5 about what is good there, 6 about what is not, and one theory that explains why people see different things. My name is Mariella. Welcome. Let's start with what was good there. A woman. NDERF forum. Cardiac arrest during surgery. 4 minutes of clinical death.
I left my body and found myself in a place I cannot describe in ordinary words. There was light, but not like sunlight. It was alive. And there was love, but not like a feeling, like a substance, like air, except you could breathe it. It was everywhere. And it was me. I understood everything. Every question I had ever had. The answers were just there. Not in words. Just as knowing. Then someone, I don't know who, made me understand I needed to return. That it wasn't time yet. I didn't want to. I cried when I woke up. Not from pain, from having to leave. 12 years have passed. I still remember that light. And I still miss it every single day.
I found myself in a space made of light, and there were people, my people. My mother. She died when I was 9. I saw her so young, younger than I remembered. She was laughing. My best friend, Stephen, killed in an accident 20 years ago, standing beside my mother, smiling. My grandfather, who I never saw alive, only in photographs. I recognized him immediately, as if I had always known him. No one spoke in words, but I knew they were glad, that they were okay, that they had been waiting. When they revived me, the first thing I felt was grief, not pain, from being alone again. But now I'm not afraid of dying, not at all.
A man. After Death Communication Research Foundation Forum. Overdose. 22 years old.
I expected clouds, angels, golden gates. Nothing like that. I found myself in a place like a garden, but not an ordinary one. Colors that don't exist, smells that have no equivalent on Earth. Everything alive, every leaf, every flower was conscious. There was music, but not a sound. It was in the space itself, part of the air, part of me. I understood that this place had always existed and would always exist, and I would be in it, always. That knowing was as obvious as knowing the sky is blue. When I came back, for 6 months I couldn't look at ordinary colors. They seemed so pale.
It was a car accident. I was 34 years old, 5 minutes of clinical death. I approached a presence, not a figure, a presence. It was enormous. It was everywhere. I expected a judge, someone who would evaluate my life. Instead, love, absolute, unconditional, without questions. It knew me completely, every thought, every action, every shame, and it loved me completely. It was the strangest and the most beautiful experience of my existence. I asked, why is there so much suffering in the world? The answer came not in words. It came as understanding, vast and complex, that I cannot convey in human language. I will say only this, after I understood it. I never asked that question again, because the answer was sufficient. I came back a different person. I stopped being afraid, stopped being angry. I just know.
I was there, the light, the peace, everything others describe, it's true. But then I was shown a choice. I could stay or return. I was shown my newborn son, not an image. I felt him, his whole life, who he would become, that he would need a mother. And I chose to come back, voluntarily, knowing that there was better. It was the hardest decision I have ever made, and the only one I have never regretted. My son is 9 years old now. Every morning when I see him, I know I chose right. But I also know it is better there, and one day I will return, already without a choice.
5 stories about what is good there. Now, the other side. Not everyone who died and came back saw the light. Some saw something else. Overdose. 26 years old. 8 minutes.
I saw nothing. At first, just darkness. But it wasn't ordinary darkness. It was alive. It moved. And the most terrifying thing, it knew me. I felt like I was being studied. Something in the darkness was looking at me and understanding every thought, every fear. Then the voices started, many, all at once, saying things I knew but didn't want to know about myself. Every lie, every cruelty, every time I chose wrong. This lasted, it felt like a very long time. I couldn't move, couldn't scream, only listen. When they revived me, for 8 months, I couldn't be alone in darkness. At all. I changed my life completely. Not because I was scared, because I understood everything there is true.
I found myself in a place that is hard to name, not darkness, more like absence, the absence of everything good. There were people there, many. They were wandering, they were suffering. But the most terrible thing, they didn't understand why they were there. They didn't know they were dead. One man approached me, asked if I could help him get home. He thought he was lost. I didn't know what to say. I didn't understand where I was myself. Then I saw that some of them had been there a long time, a very long time. They moved in circles again and again, the same movements, as if trapped in their final moment. Something pulled me out of there, I don't know what, and then light in a hospital. I still think about that man who was asking for directions home.
I fell into darkness, fast, like I had been thrown. Then, heat, but not from outside, from inside, like I myself was burning, not my skin, something deeper. There were entities around me. I can't describe them. Not people, not movie demons, just something. They didn't do anything. They were simply there. And their presence made it worse. I screamed. No one reacted. I prayed. For the first time in 20 years. Genuinely. Desperately. And then, everything stopped. The heat left. The entities left. I was in silence. Neutral. Just silence. Then, a hospital. I don't know what stopped it. The prayer, the resuscitation, something else? But I go to church every Sunday just in case.
Stop. Because before you hear 3 more stories, we need to talk about what science actually says about heaven and hell. Around 10 to 20% of people who survive clinical death report a positive experience: light, peace, meetings with loved ones. This is called the heavenly type of NDE. Around 1 to 15%, depending on the study, report a negative experience: darkness, fear, suffering. This is called the distressing type of NDE, significantly fewer and significantly less often discussed. Why do people see different things? Science offers several explanations. First, personality and expectations. People with religious upbringings more often see what matches their beliefs. People with guilt or fear more often report the dark experience. Second, brain chemistry. Different neurotransmitters are released under different conditions of death. Slow death from illness, one chemical profile. Sudden traumatic death, another. Third, and hardest for science, some details people bring back from both types of experience cannot be explained by hallucination. They are verifiable, and they are real. Fourth, a theory some researchers take seriously. The experience does not reflect a destination after death. It reflects the state of consciousness at the moment of transition. What you carry with you is what you see.
I saw neither heaven nor hell in the conventional sense. I saw my life, but not like the panoramic life review people describe in heaven. Specific moments, only the ones where I caused pain. And I felt that pain, not as an observer, as the person I had hurt, every single time. This lasted, I don't know how long, a long time, every moment, every person I had ever hurt. Their pain, my pain. There was no judge, no external punishment. I was my own judge and my own punishment. When I came back, I called everyone I owed an apology. Some didn't answer, some didn't forgive. I accepted that. Because I understood other people's forgiveness is their choice. Your choice is what you did.
I found myself in a dark place, not alone. There were others there, many, moving chaotically, not toward me, just around, but some of them noticed me. And when they noticed me, I felt I needed to leave, urgently, an instinct, like when you know you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't know who they were. I don't want to know. They revived me before any of them reached me. I think about that every time I fall asleep.
I saw both. I don't know how to explain it, but I was in both. First, darkness, voices, suffering. I understood it was connected to how I'd lived. Then, light. Not a transition, a choice. As if something asked, where do you want to go? I chose the light, but it was a choice, not automatic. not deserved, just an option. In the light, I was told I needed to return, that I still had something to do. I came back, and I'm doing it. Or trying. What struck me most, it wasn't a place. It was a state. And it was my choice.
"11 stories. 5 about what is good there, 6 about what is not. One person saw both and chose. I don't know what is there. Nobody knows for certain. But I know one thing. Every person who has been there and returned changed how they live. All of them. Those who saw the light, those who saw the dark. What that says about what is there is for you to decide. Leave a comment. What do you think is there? Light, darkness, nothing? Or something we have not described yet? Subscribe if you haven't already. Next time, cursed places. The people who went there and what happened to them after. Good night. Or not night, depending on where you are.